Welcome to Great Greys, your one-stop shop to finding winners across Australia from the world of greyhound racing. Host David Shortte is joined by Harry Buchanan from the Greyhound Insider, Jaycin Campbell to look at Queensland and Tasmanian chasing, Hall of Famer Neil Brown, Sean Matheson looking at South Australian chasing, New South Wales expert Simon Orchard, and the Shane Train Williams rounds it out with his key plays and kennel mail in WA. Now, over to the team for this week's edition of Great Greys.
Good morning and welcome along to Great Greys on this Thursday, the 8th of February 2024. David Shortte with you. Hope you're travelling particularly well on a warm Thursday here in WA. Much more of that hot stuff to come over the next few days. Just quickly too, well done to Julio. Two great pieces there with Christo and Chanel, all their on the races WA coverage, and good luck to Chanel and Christo over the next little patch. Two of our young gun apprentices looking to make a splash over the next little bit. Good luck to the pair of them. Another man that's looking to make a splash over the next few days, Harry Buchanan, now joins us here on Great Greys. Welcome to you, Harry.
Yes, good morning, Short here. Good morning, listeners. It's lovely to be with you today. I think I'm a little bit more comfortable than what you guys are doing it over in WA today, mate.
Indeed, yeah. It's certainly a little hot patch, that is for sure and certain, but there'll be plenty of hot action on the track as well for the punters to get involved with over the next few days. Lots of really good action as well when it comes to Mandurah and Cannington on Friday and Saturday night. We've got the dash final this evening as well, which is a highlight for the short courses, middle distance action Friday night, and puppy classic heats on Saturday. And of course, plenty to look forward to over on the East Coast, Temley, Zoom Top, and Australian Cup heats Saturday night at the Meadows. It's a huge few days of chasing.
Yeah, certainly is, Shorty. And if I'm being a little bit biased, I'd probably want to put the dash up there tonight in terms of interest. That's generated really good interest in the last week or so with those heats last week, and especially on a local level. It's a ripper final. We'll talk more about that shortly. We've got the Mandurah Middle Distance Challenge tomorrow. This is probably the start of the local dogs Galaxy campaign, if we could put it that way. Only being somewhat of a month away, we've got three really good quality heats there tomorrow night, and this is going to give us some idea about probably who's going to front up come Galaxy time. Clifton Cruz, he lines up in that first heat, and he comes up with box one, and his run last week was outstanding over the 488. He just looks really well boxed there, and Warm Regards returns from her Queensland hit-and-run mission, Speed Freak, and the newcomer for the Credellis, Andre Bale. He lines up in Heat 2, but they're all taking on Flying Fruit out there in Box 7. And then Heat 3, the local champ, Couch Surfer. He hasn't been at his top his last couple, but he's just had a couple of weeks freshen up here, and he lines up there against, If You Say, Chloe Ant, Jamie Keeping, Rhino Bale, who had his first look last week. So a little bit of interest there, Shorty, at the Mandurah Middle Distance heats tomorrow night. And then we head into Saturday night at Cannington. We've got two heats of the Puppy Classic. David Hobby has 11 of the 16 dogs that are going around. That's not including the reserve common speed for both heats. He dominates here, and there's some very, very good and very fast young dogs. All right, a big wrap on this dog, Ghost Emoji, in the first heat there. He's drawn box 3, but he's going to be up against it here because he's got a very slippery beginner inside him who gets wide. He's also got a couple of quality dogs who all break 30. It's pretty extraordinary, actually. Apart from the visitor, I'm a Mustang for Matty Lanigan in box 6. That whole field of youngsters has gone sub-30 at Cannington. Not sure I've ever seen that in a Puppy Classic heat before where the whole field has, and it's almost the same in the second heat with Shy Emoji, Sunset Tyson, Cubit Manelli, Sunset Fraser. They've all gone sub-30, so two rapid heats there on Saturday night, and hopefully the heat plays its part and drops off a little bit and allows us to get through both those cars tomorrow night and on Saturday night.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, the fact that Friday night's down there at Mandurah, it's generally a little bit cooler, should certainly help. And I know that on Saturday they deliberately kept it to a fairly trim meeting, just the 9 races there, and that certainly gives them a little bit of flexibility in regards to potentially starting that meeting a little bit later on in the piece. So wait and see. It's certainly predicted to be warm, and number one priority will always be the welfare of the greyhounds and participants. But it's good to see there's been a fair bit of thought go into how they might go about getting these meetings to go ahead over the next few days here in WA. All that going on, but of course as well at the Meadows there on Saturday night. This is one of the great programs of the year to look forward to for the punters. Australian Cup heats on the way through. We get to see some of Australia's best sprinters strutting their stuff. There's a Grade 5 final to kick it all off. Those Australian Cup heats, races 2 through to 7, 6 of those. We've then got the Group 1 Zoom Top. That market with Tab Touch over the 730 metres. Valpolicella, the very talented Queenslander for Anthony Zammit, $3.70 at the head of the market. Pearly Tears at $4.40. Zulu Blast at $4.60. Palawa King at $5. Zohar Bale $7. Moraine Susie $9.50. The South Aussie Lena Jinx a $12 chance. First reserve there, Mrs. Avenger at $15. Second reserve Al's Entity at $17, and Big Susie is the $26 outsider of the field. It's a outstanding field of stayers that they've put together for the Group 1 Zoom Top from all over Australia.
Absolutely, Shorty, and the fact that the favourites pushing around 360, 370 there, it tells you that the field's quite even, and it is. There's no real standout stayer at the moment. It's got a couple of good locals there, Zohar Bale, Moraine Susie. They're both very well adept around that track. The South Australian Visitor's an interesting one. I think she lowered the Yangle Park track record, Lena Jinx, and has since had a look there. Zulu Blast, he's really taken off as a stayer lately. He hasn't beaten a great deal, and this is the acid test, but he's certainly running the time. Big Susie's come back from Queensland, and speaking of Queenslanders, Valpolicella coming off that Gold Cup win, and that dog's outstanding. It's been well-travelled, Bentworth Park, and it's been to Victoria before. Just a really good dog she is, and if she gets close, she's going to be very hard to stop. And Palawa King, well, he's a little bit enigmatic, but you can never discount him. It's such a quality race this in terms of evenness, and the dogs themselves, I'm probably leaning towards Zohar Bale around 650. He does go well around here, and I know that, he needs a little bit of luck in his runs, but in saying that, if he gets a look up the back, he's going to be there in the finish. A couple of big finishes in that race, Shorty, so your type of staying race, I think, on Saturday night. Yeah,
looking forward to the last 200 metres in particular. They'll be coming from everywhere, charging over the last little bit. The Group 1 Temlee. This is interesting. Of course, last week on the Coast to Coast podcast, we caught up with Joe Lanuti from Punters HQ. They announced that their runner for the upcoming Sandgroper will be Explicit. We then saw Explicit come out last week, take out that big final at Warrnambool in most impressive fashion. It backs up in the Group 1 Temlee and is the favourite for this particular race at $3.50. Mapunga Shine at $4.40. Big Energy $5.50. Transponder at $6. Morton coming off success up there in Queensland in the Gold Bullion last week. Tremendous performances. $6.50 chance. Timzu at $6.50. The first reserve. Hector Fawley the second reserve $6.50. Alpha Zulu at $8. Scalacci $12. And Idolize a $20 chance. Another magnificent sprint lineup here for the Group 1 Temlee.
Oh, isn't it ever? And look, Explicit, as we talked to Joe last week, he's a fast dog. He's a really fast dog. But gee, wanna be. He's facing the acid here, and it's not diluted one iota. This is a quality lineup, and we're going to see exactly where this dog's at. He's got a great turn of foot, and I know he's gone sub-5 there in the past to the first mark, and he's run really quick overall time, but these are Group 1 dogs. Mapunga Shine, Scalacci, Morton was outstanding at Albion Park. Big Energy, you let him out and running, that's over. Idolize, she's in box 7 outside Explicit. She's normally a slippery beginner. She did get beaten at Sale last week, so not sure if she's taken any ill effect from that, but if she lines up, she'll be in the punching line into the first turn there at least. And Alpha Zulu, also a very, very fast dog. It's a great race. I guess you don't want to be caught outside Transponder at the first turn. Mapunga Shine, I think he's a quality animal. Just the map and the draw and the fact that you're getting close to each way odds there sort of leans me towards him, but you could have 4, 5, 6 goes in that race, Shorty, and still miss the winner. They're a very, very good group of sprinters. 8 heats of the Australian Cup. It's a 3-week series. They've rejigged the program there. The Rookie Rebel would normally be on Saturday night. It's gone back a couple of weeks. So we go to the quarterfinals after the heats, 8 heats on Saturday night, and then I think the Rookie Rebel might be the last night or the week after. I'd have to check that. But it's going to be a great series the next 3 or 4 weeks out at the Meadows, and we're going to see some real good dogs go around.
Big time, yeah. Looking forward to that. Heats 7 and 8 of the Australian Cup around those Group 1s there. And the first race, we said their Grade 5 final, and even the last race of beauty. Tommy Tequila was good for us last week, takes on Bun Storm, who's chasing up a winning hat-trick. Mr. Fahrenheit, likewise. It's just a tremendous card from top to tail, punters. Get yourself involved there on Saturday night at the Meadows. Our first race for broadcasters 3 minutes away here on TAB Radio. It is the De Bortoli Wines over the 1,100 metres. Bo-Katan, one for the Mandalorian fans. $2.15 into $2, our favourite here. Good once, $2.75 right out to $4.60. Good support, that's the word. 21 into $6.50 on the third line. Reckless Intention, 9 into $8. Then it's at $9 and firm, 12 to 17 for Gog Magog. Bottler is at 18 out from 12, and Dusty Rubble, the outside of 41 out to 81. You've got 2.5 minutes to get your bets on for the first of the day there at Wyong. Let's get into your best bets of the night upcoming though. Harry, kicking off at Mandurah this evening.
Yeah, Mandurah Shorty. We'll kick it off in race 4 here. Number 5, Hopeland. He's coming out of a dash heat behind Rex Hunter last week. Prior to that, behind Light Manelli twice. This is as easy as he's faced in a little while. He does have Timmy Timebomb outside him, so he's going to have to probably step his best, or her best, I should say. But she can punch up relatively quickly, even off a slow start, and she does attack the line well over this track and trip. So we'll kick it off with her in race number 4 there. Go down to race 7. It is the dash final. Oh, look, I went over this quite a bit, actually, because there's so many good dogs in this. And, look, Light Manelli is the track record holder, 16.75 last week, but I just cannot get away from Renegade Cochise. I know he went 16.89, but for what he did last week, the way he did it, and he didn't even lead, he's just a very, very fast dog. He has an electrifying turn of foot to the first turn, and I think he'll take so much benefit out of that 300 last week where that run's much shorter. The turn came up on him a little bit quick, and I just want to see him step a bit better. I've got no doubt he can go with Light Manelli with a clear run. Rest assured, even if he does miss a kick, this dog is dazzling to the first turn. He goes so fast. Looking for him to burst through there, Shorty, and if we can get him somewhere near the arm, he'll take all sorts of stopping. Down to race 12, Alfie Tux. Out wide here, number 7. He came out of a dash sheet as well behind Rex Hunter, and he was very, very good, 17-13 in defeat. Only has to repeat that. He's got a sharp beginning railer in Sunset Bubbles inside him. He gets the best map here. He can march up really quickly. He can take over, and he'll get the job done if he does lead. He's a very promising young dog. Race 4, number 5. Race 7, number 4. Race 12, number 7 at Mandurah this evening.
Beautifully done there, Harry. What we might do is take a quick pause. They're less than a minute away here for the first at Wyong over the 1,100 metres. We'll throw back to Maddie, and when we return, the thoughts of Harry Buchanan this evening there at Sandown.
You're listening to Great Greys on Tab Radio.
Well, we're catching up with Harry Buchanan, about to get into his thoughts for tonight's 12-race program there at Sandown. Who do you like across there at Sandown for this evening, H?
Yeah, Shorty, I'm going to kick it up in race number 5 here. Number 3, Emily Zoe. She's had 2 runs back from a spell. This dog went 33.86 prior to that spell. If she runs 33.86 tonight, she'll beat these by a dozen. She's run into Cadence Bale and Ethanol Water, so there is no disgrace in being beaten by either of those dogs. And I just think here tonight, with both dogs in 1 and 2 going really quick, good sharp beginners, she's going to get every chance to track them up here. And she can hit the line really well. Third up, she should be right. And I think she can get the job done in race 5. Go down to race 6. He's currently around $51 here. And I speak of Jai's Jet. We're down to 2 dividends, which is a shame, but I just think he gets a really good map. We know what we get. He wears the blinkers, and he wears them for a reason. He's very enigmatic, but he keeps hitting that podium. And I can tell you now, I love the old 600 back to 500, especially for a dog like this. At the very least, he's worth a small spec. You're getting $13, $14 for a place. You could run top 2 here. The 2 dogs inside go really fast. There's every hope that they can hold the outside division up early here and just give him some sort of look at the first turn. If he runs into it, then the rest is up to him. And that mind of his, if he does knuckle down, he can give us some sort of sight late in the race here, because he's certainly very strong closing off. Race 7, number 1, Stellar Girl, last chance tonight. She stepped really well last week, and then she just didn't have any drive into the first turn. I think she was a little bit shy with those dogs coming down. Prior to that, she got beaten by Tan and Black. She continued again in that race to drop out, and she just makes that big ground coming home. I want to see her step tonight and hold her spot, and if she does, the back end of her race will be too good for this lot. It's just a matter of how much start she gives them, and if she does pull out at that first turn. But at the double figures, she's certainly worth a play. I'm going to keep my eye on Pickled Piper. I think she's going to take that step up well tonight. But at the price, we'll play Stellar Girl to hit top 2. And I think the best each-way bet on the card is in race 9 here, number 3, Rock Me Rocco. He's another one that did wear the blinkers at one stage, or I don't know if he still does, but he has had them on before. He's been racing much better dogs than this in the past, right back through to Fab's Vegetable, Aston Costello. Here comes Millie Homebrew, who won last night. 2 starts ago, he got beaten by Launch Code a long way. He got spat out the back, but the fact remains he just races better dogs than this. He goes well at the track and trip, and I don't mind his map here, and I think he's a little bit over the odds here at $9.50. At the very least, he's worth an each-way play. Race 5, number 3. Race 6, number 4. Top 2 there, Jai's Jet. Race 7, same for Stellar Girl, number 1. And race 9, number 3, Rock Me Rocco at Sandown this evening, Shorty.
Beautifully done, Harry, and it was great to catch up yesterday on the Coast to Coast podcast. We were very fortunate to have a very special guest in the Hall of Famer, Linda Britton. We talked about their Sandgroper slot for 2024, and we also had the great opportunity to go back in time and remember some of the all-time great dogs from her kennel. And we speak, of course, of greyhounds the like of Reggie Might and Genev, that Harvard Bale, some of the more recent types, the Quick Jagger, also Vanderwarp, Weston Augie. It was a wonderful chat, Harry, and a great opportunity to go back in time with one of the absolute stars of the sport, Hall of Famer Linda Britton.
Absolutely, Shorty. The only downside about yesterday's chat was that we ran out of time. It was one of those talks that you could have just sat there for ages and talked about the dogs from years gone by. And I know we were talking about the Sandgroper slot, but some of the greyhounds they've had in their kennels over the last few decades, and we really probably didn't touch the tip of the iceberg in terms of numbers. It was just superb. Right back to Reggie Might, as you said. It was just fantastic, and Linda really enjoys talking about her dogs, and they're lining up again this year in the Sandgroper after having good success last year. So, yeah, tune into that podcast there, Coast to Coast. It's up on all our platforms. You'll enjoy that chat. Really informative, and, yeah, I'd love to have Linda back on the podcast one day and just talk about the dogs from years gone by, because it's something that the purists and the older brigade of greyhound enthusiasts could really get around. And I thoroughly enjoyed it yesterday, Shorty, as you did.
Yeah, it was absolutely superb. So if you missed that, make sure you get across Spotify or indeed a SoundCloud, or you can capture it across all of our social media platforms. And we'll be back again tomorrow for another big edition of the Mail Collection, where we team up with our great mate Ethan Christian and go through finding the winners for the weekend upcoming. We'll have a very close look at that big program, the Meadows on Saturday night, as well as Wentworth Park Saturday, Mandurah Friday and Cannington Saturday. It's all there on the Mail Collection each and every Friday afternoon. Good on you, H. We'll hear from you tomorrow morning on the Sports Daily. Till then, many winners.
Thanks, Shorty. Talk soon, mate.
There we have it, Harry Buchanan here on Great Greys, where it's now 22 minutes after 10. Let's go back to Matty McDermott. We'll clear the dividends from race number 1 of the day at Wyong and then catch up with Jaycin Campbell.
This is your home of the Greyhound Good Oil, Great Greys.
We were about to catch up with Jaycin Campbell, and of course last week we were talking about that stellar program up there at Albion Park, and what a meeting it proved to be. Morton absolutely spectacular in taking out the Gold Bullion final. Welcome to you, JC. That was some sort of win from Morton.
Yeah, I cannot believe he actually won that race, Shorty. It was a bit similar to his win the week prior in the heat against Magistrate. I thought for all money, all natural held on, but bit like myself and Bunny Brash were wrong, and the Victorian took the loot from Queensland.
Indeed. It was a great final, one that we'll remember for some time to come. And it was also great to see the best of the Tony Zammit trained Val Policella in taking out the Gold Cup final. I think it's fair to say the dog was probably a little bit flat the week prior in its heat, but we got to see Valpolicella really wind up late in that race to get out after Drill Sergeant and get the cash.
Yeah, she was brilliant. She got a bit of luck early in the piece, but once she found the rail heading around for the second lap, she was pretty much unbeatable in running as long as nothing broke down around her or anything run her off. And yeah, she'll be very hard to beat, I assume, in the Zoom top. I think she's really well boxed, and I was listening to you and Harry chat about that earlier. So, yeah, exciting to see where she goes to throughout her career now.
Most definitely. She is definitely one of the stayers in Australia right now. Looks to have a huge future and in great hands with Tony Zammit. Just a quick shout out as well to a great mate of this program and many here in the West, the Prince Tom Zavalis, on the passing of his father. We're all thinking of you, Tommy, so you're all in our thoughts and sending our condolences from across here in the West. Let's get your thoughts for tonight's program there at Albion Park. JC, who are you keen on?
Going to the free-for-all 600 contest first, race 4, number 2, Hidden Agenda. This dog had 5 weeks off between runs from his last 600 at Albion Park. He lined up a Capalaba on Sunday over the 366, and I thought he had a really, really good crack at it. He was good out of the boxes, just hit a flat spot, and then really rocketed late to finish just off Caramel Queen. I think very suited stepping back up to the 600 metres here on the quick backup. He is on the fresh side, so I think he will race on speed, and I think this race will pretty much just come down to whether himself or Blue Hornet can gain ascendancy from the top. Whichever does, I think will win, because I don't think either of them are strong enough to run each other down. So I'm going to be with him at the better price. That's race 4, number 2, Hidden Agenda.
Alrighty, moving down to race number 7 on the card.
Yeah, playing a Tommy Zavalis runner here, number 3, Amendola. She's raced exclusively over the 710 over the last month. She's bumped into the likes of Valpolicella, who we were just speaking about, Scintillate and Sanisha. All those 3 runners were in that Gold Cup last week. I think this is a bit of a drop back in grade. I think she's very well placed here in the 5th grade 600 metres. Most importantly, I think she's drawn particularly well here. Boxes 1 and 2, Spiderbait and Blazing Smoke, don't have very consistent box manners. I think she can cross them. I think she'll lead. And I think she'll prove very hard to run down. She often goes around at a good price, and she's a pretty underrated bitch. When she finds the arm, she's really difficult to get past. So race 7, number 3, Amendola.
Race 7, number 3, Amendola. Then we're down to race number 9 for the 30-year specials.
Saving the best for last, race 9, number 7, Magistrate. A dog that needs no introduction, Shorty. He's been a terrific campaigner for the Greg Stella camp. 53 starts, 24 wins, 23 placings. I just gave him an introduction, but he doesn't need one. Run 3rd last week in the Bullion behind Morton. Brings A1 form to this race. Drawn particularly well in box 7, where he's had 3 starts for 2 wins and a placing. Box 8, Mr. Springtime, is a risky beginner. Box 6 is vacant. Box 5, Another Chance, wants to duck left. I think Magistrate's going to get all the space and time in the world that he probably doesn't even need, because he's such a good beginner, to find the front here, and I just don't think anything can run him down in this race. So best bet for me, race 9, number 7, Magistrate.
Alrighty, the BB labelled by our man Jaycin Campbell. 3 plays tonight at Albion Park in recap. Race 4, number 2, Hidden Agenda. Race 7, number 3, Amendola. And the best of them, race 9, number 7, Magistrate. You've got one for us down there in Tassie at Hobart tonight?
Very flush runner, Shorty. I know you like that. Race 2, number 8, Buckle Up Yanni. She was brilliant 3 starts ago from box 7. She won in 1961 over this track and trip. Last start at Hobart, she was really unlucky from box 3, where she jumped a shortening 2.25 favourite. She just got sandwiched early in the piece and was spat out of the contest. She ran on Monday at Launceston, but I think she goes better at Hobart. The scratching of interrogation helps. Buckle Up Shabby in box 7 will look to find the rails. She can stay out wide, Buckle Up Yanni. A little bit concerned about the money for the first starter, Bala Blitz. However, I've just got to trust my gut here that Buckle Up Yanni goes a lot better at Hobart and should be very well suited to box 8. So race 2, number 8, Buckle Up Yanni.
Very nice. Race 2, we'll stick with the pink runner there, Buckle Up Yanni, to get the job done for Gary Johnson. Anything from your camp going around over the next few days worthy of keeping our eye on, Jace?
I'd probably say the best of my runners would be Dixie Gambles tonight, race 6, number 5 at Albion Park. She steps up to the 600 metres here. Tommy's done a terrific job with her. She's absolutely flying at the minute. She won 4 over the last 5, all over the 520. I think this will be her track and trip for the next couple of months until she retires. She needs to get across from box 5. She needs a lead. If she don't lead, she's probably got none, to be fair, considering all these dogs have a lot of runs under the belt over the 600 and 700 metres.
All right, well, let's hope she can spear to the top, Dixie Gamble. She's been racing in wonderful fashion since heading to Tommy and heading into town, so hopefully that can continue for you tonight there, race 6, number 5, Dixie Gambles. Beautifully done, Jace. Appreciate your time as always here on Great Greys. Good luck with all of your runners as well as our tips tonight there.
Thanks, Shorty. Take care, mate.
There we have it, Jaycin Campbell here on Great Greys, where it's bang on 10:30. Plenty still to come on the program. We'll be catching up with Neil Brown, Sean Matheson and also Simon Orchard. No Shane Train today. He's on his way back home to Oz after a couple of weeks up there in Ireland. So we wish him safe travels back here to the motherland, and it'll be great to have him back in Australia. And I know that he's had an absolute ball up there. He'll tell us all about it next week on Great Greys when we do catch up with him. Neil Brown, though, our Hall of Famer, not far away from catching up. Maddie, and we've got a little break until our next race for broadcast here on TAB Radio. It will be race number 2 from Wyong.
This is your home of the Greyhound Good Oil, Great Greys.
Well, it's time to catch up with Neil Brown. Brownie, great to have you on board. Tremendous work again for the punters last week, landing your best bet at a nice price. And you would have been delighted on Sunday night here. We had our WA Greyhound of the Year function, and of course we're celebrating 50 years of greyhound racing in WA. It was a wonderful evening. Of course, Elite Machine taking out the major prize on the night, but what you would have particularly loved is some of the vision that Simo managed to track down of opening night there at Cannington in 1974. 15,000 people were in attendance, and some of the vision is absolutely spectacular. Tremendous memories from years gone by.
Yes, I've been in fairly close contact with David over a fair period of time while he's put this together, which has been a monumental task, and only Simo could come up with the goods like I'm sure he had. I've seen a lot of photographs from the night, and it looked a fantastic occasion, and I would have not expected less. But I've seen photographs of that opening night, and it's quite spectacular. So looking forward to seeing the vision that. Nobody does a job better than Simo, don't they? And it was right in his wheelhouse. He was pretty excited about the historical side of things. So, I'm sure everybody had a great night. I think our old mate Pete O'Neill was in charge. Was he the MC?
He was indeed. He did a fine job looking after the night as the master of ceremonies, and there were Paul Ambrosoli was in the room, which was great. The great Fred Kersley was in attendance. So many people with links to greyhound racing. Some of our star trainers from yesteryear. Dot and Mandy Horton were there. Eileen Langston. Mike Bate, who, of course, bred so many wonderful dogs that he raced with. Keith Harding, the Light of Fire, Britt Mark Litter in particular, really does bring back some fine memories. It was a tremendous night. And if that's anything to go by for the remainder of the year and some of the other functions we've got for the 50-year celebrations, we're in for an exciting 11 months ahead across here in WA Greyhound Racing. Let's get into your thoughts for tonight there at Sandown. Brownie, early quaddie for tonight, races 1 through to 4.
Yep, we kick off with a 5:15 metre maiden final, very open race. Plenty of chances here. I'll tip the red on top, Aston Meek, but I'm going to take 7, 8 and 3 in the race. I think it's wide open. 1, 7, 8 and 3 for me in race number 1. We go over 5:15 metres, restricted win final, Bendigo to Sandown tonight. Pretty hard race. I've got the 4 on top. I think he might be just a class runner, Amron Tiger. We're going to take 2 and 3 as well. I think they've got chances in the race, but Amron Tiger, with a bit of luck out of boxes from 4, might be the dog to beat. Race number 3, very difficult race over the 5.95 here, a grade 5. Plenty of chances. I've got the 3 on top. Kenya Amy. I think it's a good open race. So chances are 7, 2 and 6. I'm going to take those 4. But 3 on top, I think, can win the race from that inside draw over the 5.95. And coming home in the last leg of the early quad race, number 4, 5:15 metres, mixed day, 4th and 5th grade. I thought Got Rhythm might be the class runner here. And just got to have a little bit of luck from box number 6. but I'm also giving a chance to the Hilltop Jack from the red, and Pepper Rush also, so 6, 1 and 3. Main quaddy tonight, we move into a 595, a grade 5 event. I think the winner will come from the inside runners here. I'm going to take 1, 2 and 3 in the quaddy. Distracting's been flying at the Meadows. It's got 3 wins on the trot over the 600 metres and from pretty difficult draws, 8, 6, 6 and 6, but shown some real early pace and be well served by the red box tonight. I think there's definite chance of Ethanol Extra. Been in reasonably good form, a solid placing at the Meadows last start over the 525, and I think Emily Zoe's got some sort of chance. Hasn't had much luck since resuming, but has got plenty of ability, and just missed the start in its last couple. So we'll take 1, 2 and 3. Second leg of the quaddie, here race number 6 is over the 515. It's a grade 4. I think 176 Cosmic Sins come out of the race, so an important scratching there in race number 6. I think I gave it some sort of chance to take it out of the selections. You've got My Neo on top, got a great record at Sandown Park. He races well here, 7 wins and 8 placings from 28. Beautifully boxed into 1. He's quite a campaigner these days. At 92 starts, he's been a terrific greyhound, and I think he might get home in the latter part of his career tonight from box number 1, particularly with the check box empty now. The other 2 chances, I'm going to take a 7 and 8 Dundee. Rebel certainly got some claims, just got to come across from the 8 and get in position. And I think Lapini Manelli also with a claim in the race. I'm going to take 1, 7, 6, but a bit keen on My Neo from box number 1 tonight. Race number 7, really hard race here over the 7:15, a wide open distance race. I'm going to take 7, 8, 3 and 1. The 2 greyhounds drawn wide. I like You Want a Sensation. He's got a very good record here over the 595. Has got can run the distance. Has got some wins over the longer journeys. But I think she's got a chance tonight to win in an open field. Zinzan Chopper is a chance from the pink, so I think that those greyhounds from the outside draw the 2 to beat. And certainly I'm going to take 3 and 1 in a pretty open distance race number 3 of the quaddie. Coming home in the last leg of the quaddie tonight, race number 8, 595 here, mixed third and fourth grade. Very keen here about Succeed. The 6s come out. So an empty box there on 2 empty boxes on the greyhounds inside. Been racing really well, in good form. Really puts in a bad performance, this greyhound, and I think he looks the one to beat tonight. Pretty keen about him at the $2.90. In fact, David, I made him our best bet of the night, and I think he can win the race. I'm going to take 2 and 4 as well. Kind of Jack races consistently well here at Sandown Park, and By Georgie has also got some sort of chance, but pretty keen about Succeed. Think it can win, and they're quite happy with those odds at around the $2.90 mark. Like the win from the 7 here on January 18 was a good run from Succeed here at Sandown Park over the 595, running 34 and 24. So, good luck and good punting. I think you might like something each way in the last 2, David. Lakeview Alley is around the $4 mark, and I think it might be hard to beat from box number 6 with a bit of luck early. Racing in very, very good, solid form for the Whelan. So race 12, number 6 might be something else for us each way, David. But yes, I should have tipped you into Kaibar last week. The multi was paid extremely well, David. So very happy with how we're punting. Let's hope it can continue tonight.
Magnificent. Splendid work from you, as always, Brownie, and looking forward to that program tonight, and also the Meadows there on Saturday night. What a stellar program they put together there.
Yeah, my tongue to shine off the red. I like in the 10 Lee, the mighty 10 Lee, who used to own Olympic Park. Great to see this race continuing on, and the Queenslander hasn't done much wrong for the Zoom Top. Still the best greyhound I've ever seen, David. 1968-69, the mighty Zoom Top. So Val Policella for me in the distance final, but a really good night's racing in 3 weeks coming up at the Meadows, culminating in the Great Australian Cup final on the 24th of this month. So looking forward to those nights at the Meadows.
Yeah, it's a wonderful time in greyhound racing across there in Victoria over the next 3 weeks. Neil, as always, really appreciate your time here on Great Greys. Have a wonderful weekend upcoming.
Good on you, mate. Thanks, David.
There we have it. Neil Brown here on a Great Greys, where it's now 21 minutes away from 11 o'clock. Matty, we're some 11 minutes away from the next of the day there at Wyong.
You are tuned into Shorty and the team on Great Greys.
Where we're heading across to South Australia to catch up with Sean Matheson, have a look at the program tonight at Angle Park, as well as Gawler on Friday, Murray Bridge on Sunday, and no doubt both Sean as well as the rest of the South Australian greyhound racing fraternity will be getting right around Lena Jinx, who goes around there on a Saturday night at the Meadows and is currently a $12 chance on the each way there at Saturday night, the Meadows, the Group 1 Zoom Top. Welcome to you, Sean. Tremendous to have another South Aussie flying the flag for you in the Group 1 across there in the Zoom Top on Saturday.
Oh, hi, David. Yeah, great to be on the show today with you. Yeah, it's wonderful for South Australian greyhound enthusiasts, participants, and also the locally that we've got another dog, another staying dog representing South Australia at the highest level. Lena Jinx, SA bred, SA owned, SA trained, and definitely she's hit the ground running here in SA. She's already the track record holder over the staying trip here. She's now into a Group 1 invitation race. She's extremely lightly raced, so plenty of upside. And you mentioned there, David, $12. Not a lot of speed in the race, and you might be a bit surprised that she can actually come out a little bit better than I think what some people expect. So hopefully she can actually find a position nice and handy and really run home powerfully, which we know that she can do. And who knows? You just never know in these races. Interestingly, her mum won. Now, I think next week they've got like the Super Stayers Group 1 after the Zoom Top, and Luna Jinx won that race in 2015. So there's some nice symmetry going on there with Lena Jinx through this Saturday night, and then hopefully in the coming weeks.
Indeed, and of course, once you're up at that level, you like to know you can put time on the board, and Lena Jinx has already shown that she can, because she's got the track record there across at Angle Park, and normally pretty good dogs have held that record on the way through, so very much an up-and-coming type to be following in the staying ranks, Lena Jinx, over the next little patch. Let's get your thoughts for tonight's card there at Angle Park. We have got a 12-race program. The first gets underway at 3 minutes past 4 WA time. Who do you like on the card?
Yeah, David, I actually like a lot of best bets on the card, but some have sort of gotten a little bit short. So I'll get a little bit better value, hopefully, for the listeners. And the first of them is actually in race 2, and it's number 6, Dark Thrill. Now, this is a maiden race. It's only a 4-dog race. Normally, I'd try and steer away from that because you get some first starters in some of our maidens. You don't know what you're going to get, but these 4 dogs have all at least had one start. Dark Thrill kicked off her campaign in the Golden Maiden Heat when she ran second. Then she ended up running 6th in the final behind Springvale Grace at Gawler. She was a really good run in that race. She found trouble, found herself back in the pack, and then ran home quite well. I think coming from box 6, there's nothing outside her. She's going to get a really, really good run into this race, and it does look like she's got a fair bit of ability. So she's about equal favourite with the 4, so around that $2.30 mark, but I reckon she's the one to have on top.
Okay, race 2, number 6, Dark Thrill, the first of the plays tonight there at Angle Park for Sean. Where do we go for tip number 2?
Tip number 2, now it'll be race 5, and it's number 8, Manipulation. It's only a 7-dog field now, so with the scratching of Mike Khaleesi, who's gone into the St. Ledger final, race 8. So we'll get Manipulation just on top for a win, quoted around $6.50. Whilst I think this dog probably likes drawn close to the rail, it has won 3 of its 10 starts from the pink and also 5 placings. And with that vacant box now to his inside, he is desperate for the rail, and he can come out running. He can come out in a 5.27, which is what he came out last start. If he does that, I think he can definitely lead this race. And whilst there are some strong types, we see Zipping Neutron resuming over 5.30 in this race, who's the favourite. I just think Manipulation might be able to pinch a bit of a break from all the competitors and hopefully get the job done. But we would we do need to see him leading to probably run his best.
All right, so at the price, race 5, number 8, Manipulation, worth a spec tonight that it can get across, find the top and give us a run for our money at the $6. And the third of your place tonight there at Angle Park?
Third of the plays again, David. Just looking at slightly better price here. So I'm looking at race 10, number 5, Alinga Zoe. Quoted at $2.30. Resumes after about a month off. But last start, she was super at Gawler in winning over the 5:31. She went 30:72, and that's really good time for a greyhound that's really lightly raced and is progressing up in distance. So I think the 5:30 here at Angle Park won't worry her. She might get a little bit tight at the end because she is first up for a month, but I just think she'll be that far in front, it probably won't matter. So she's quoted around that $2.30 mark as well, so I think she'll be extremely hard to beat. It looks the leader and looks hard to beat.
Race 2, number 6, Dark Thrill. Race 5, number 8, Manipulation. And race 10, number 5, Alinga Zoe. The 3 plays tonight there at Angle Park for Sean Matheson. We've got Gawler chasing on Friday and Murray Bridge on Sunday. Anything for the punters there?
So just a couple. Just one at Gawler tomorrow. It's race 5, number 1, Peace Bell. I just mentioned Alinga Zoe. Alinga Zoe beat Peace Bell at Gawler in that start a month ago. Peace Bell's been going quite good. She ran third last up and has won at Gawler previously. Has high speed for Robin McKellar. Should lead this race and over the 5:30 be a little bit too quick for her rivals. And then at Murray Bridge on Sunday night, I do like race 4, number 8, Yoda Lady. This was a final, but the heats were run 2 weeks ago because unfortunately the Murray Bridge meeting last week was cancelled due to the heat. So this is the final from 2 weeks ago. Yoda Lady was a really, really good second in that heat. She's drawn box 8, looks like she can handle a wide draw. Has been in really consistent form. And again, I just think she's on the way up for Lee Bartholomew, and I think she's a nice progressive type, so hopefully you can get the job done on Sunday.
Race 4, number 8, Yoda Lady, one for the Star Wars fans to round it out for Sean Matheson this upcoming weekend. Sean, appreciate your time on this Thursday morning here on Great Greys. All the very best with Lena Jinx over there at the Meadows on Saturday night, and look forward to our chat next week.
Thanks, David. Always appreciate your time.
There we have a Sean Matheson talking all things South Australian chasing. Let's go back to Matty McDermott. A couple of minutes to go now until the second of the day at Wyong, and Irish Anthem continues to be very popular with the punters. Matty?
This is Great Greys on Tab Radio. Go, you good thing.
Well, a man that knows how to find the good things is our New South Wales correspondent, Simon Orchard. It's great to have him on the program on this Thursday. Hello, Simon.
Howdy, Shorty. How are you, mate?
Going beautifully, thank you. A massive weekend of chasing ahead once again, and what a tremendous weekend we had last week across there in your neck of the woods. I thought some of the performances handed in throughout the course of the weekend were most impressive, and of course you tipped us in to a couple that went really well. Good Odds Cobber is a dog that we've had on our radar since you tipped us into it. It's a real up-and-coming star performer across there in your backyard.
Yeah, you're spot on, Shorty. Of course, the Richmond Straight final taken out by Shell. Not so impressive. I think it's fair to say, if not the best, in the top 2 straight dogs in the country. That happened Saturday morning. The Summer 6 Hundy went off on Saturday night, and that was really well won. I'll tell you what, there's a dog that ran second by the name of Off the Richter that's one to watch in the future. Still only had about 9 or 10 starts. And then Sunday, Musselbrook Cup, Richard Debra smashed the track record, and another one for the Gat Kennel, who don't have a big team, but certainly have a quality team going around each and every week. So a couple to watch out of that weekend. And, of course, another big weekend ahead, mate. We've got the running of the Richmond Heats today, this afternoon on Thursday. We've got, of course, the Buller Gold Cup on Sunday and the Robert Smith Memorial Maiden Heats Saturday night as well. So plenty to come in the next 72 hours.
You're listening to Great Greys on Tab Radio.
Where we're catching up with Simon Orchard to talk all things New South Wales greyhound racing over the next 72 to 96 hours. Simon, talk us through who we can have a bit of a wager on and the big races to watch out for over the next little bit.
Yeah, can do, Shorty. If you're listening live, there's some races called the Richmond coming up at Casino. It's part of our middle distance charge towards the Country Classic, which will go off at Dubbo mid-March. But the Richmond, those heats are kicking off in about 10 to 12 minutes. I think race 7, number 7, Nangar Lucy is the dog to beat in the first heat. Look, she's a Group 1 winner already, Peter Moss-Monopole last year. She ran a brilliant race in the Blacktop at Newcastle as well, a Group 2 event to win that. She's been back and forth, Shorty, between New South Wales and Queensland quite a bit with Dave Irwin, while the Barnes family have been enjoying some time over there in Disneyland, but they're back now, and I reckon Nangar Lucy's prime, race 7, number 7. It's 14 minutes, actually, the first heat of the Richmond, so you can get behind her. The second heat, race 8, number 3, Scintillate. Look, the Savellas camp have a big team coming down for this race. I think that Scintillate is the dog to beat in the second heat. They've been going through a tough time, so cheerio to the Savellas family. We know what's happened with them in the last week or so, but race 8, number 3, Scintillate hopefully can bring a smile to their dial. If you want to bet tonight at Dapto, race 10, number 7, Enzo Herrera is the best bet on the card there. Ninja Max come out this morning, who's a real speedster from box 2, so hopefully Gypsy Rico, I think, got early pace, will lead from the 3. Enzo Herrera is a real speed machine, can tack onto the back of it and hopefully hold out the other Ronnie Alcock runner in All for Irish. So race 10, number 7, Enzo Herrera, the best bet at Dapto tonight. If you want to have a play at the Robert Smith Memorial Maiden Heats on Saturday, 3-3 Power and Glory has had a trial at the track. I'm not going to give away too much, but it was absolutely airborne. So race 3-3 Power and Glory for Kenny Burnett is flying. And then in race 4, Mr. Peregrine for Jane Carruthers is a full brother to Not Without, who is just absolutely running them ragged at Richmond over the past month or so. So a couple to watch there in the maiden heats. We know maiden dogs can do a little bit wrong, Shorty, but race 3, number 3, Power and Glory, race 4, number 5, Mr. Peregrine. That's Saturday night. And then Sunday at Bulli, I know we've got a lot on, but Sunday at Bulli, race 6, number 7, Nangar Larry, perfectly placed out wide in what is a really good race. You've got Zipping Megatron returning. You've got History's coming, the winner of the Derby. You've got Hazability in the race as well. But I think Nangar Larry, a really good one-turn dog, will be suited from the wide draw for the Lord camp. And then race 8, number 2, Zipping Novak. Well, he's had a bit of an indifferent start to the year. Of course, scratch from that Gosford Gold Cup final about 6 weeks ago. I think Jace Magri believes that there's a really, really big race in this dog. Of course, he won the Derby at Richmond last year, but I think he can take out this heat of the Bulli Gold Cup as well. So I know there's a lot on the plate there, Shorty, but hopefully plenty of winners and plenty of good luck for our chasers over the next little period.
Magnificent work from you, Simon, and very much looking forward to all the action there over the next little patches. Something for everyone, and must be busy getting around to all these different tracks. I know, Simon, it's there's a lot of tracks sort of within 2 to 3 hours of the metro region, but a lot of these trainers, they cover an awful lot of ground getting to these different series that are on around the place.
Yeah, you're spot on. I mentioned Nangar Lucy, who's running around in the Richmond today. Obviously, the Barnes Kennel based out in the central west of New South Wales, so every track, apart from Dubbo, is about 4 or 5 hours at least. So full credit to them. They're willing to get in the car and take the dog, and she's a pretty good traveller as well. But you're spot on, Shorty. There's heaps happening, and we wouldn't want it any other way. There's always something to talk about, always something to discuss, write about, dogs to champion, but looking forward to what is a big, big period for us, leading, of course, to the Country Classic, that race worth $125,000 in about 6 weeks. And then, of course, full steam ahead towards the 7:15. Dogs will start to pop up and emerge as we head towards those big feature races in the first half of the year.
Yeah, that big staying event at the Gardens, it's an absolute ripper. Looking forward to that. Appreciate your time as always, Simon. Have a ripper weekend. We'll catch up next Thursday.
Cheers, Shorty. Hooroo.
There we have it, Simon Orchard with the latest. We've got Gatton Race 1 not far away from jumping here, Matty. Yeah, you best be swift to keep your eyeballs on it. Just 860 metres here for the maiden.
You're listening to Great Greys on Tab Radio.
We'll round it out for today with just a few plays tonight at Mandurah. I thought in race 7, the key final, the dash. Number 2, Light Manelli, hard to beat. 2, 4 and 8, the key 3 plays there. Race 8, numbers 1 and 7, you can play them in the novelties. And then I'm saving my best 2 till last. Race 11, number 8, What a Ripper. And race 12, number 7, Alfie Tux. That is race 7, number 2. Race 8, 1 and 7. Race 11, number 8. And race 12, number 7. Matty, appreciate your time as always. Have a great Thursday, punters.
Chances are you're about to lose. For free and confidential support, visit gamblinghelpline.org.au.